Monday, December 4. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Attorney at Law Bert Samuels has labelled proposals made by Justice Minister Delroy Chuck to punish traffic offenders as a possible emotional response to the chronic problem of Road Traffic Act breaches. But Mr. Samuels has warned that the minister should not seek to influence the minds of judges in their conduct of cases before them. He asserts that any sentence to be imposed by judges should be done based on the particular facts before them. Last week, Mr. Chuck announced that at the end of the traffic ticket amnesty on January 13, the government will be cracking down hard on motorists who continue to flout the road code.
Chief, I would like to ask you that I'll tell you why I will need additional judges. And in all these courts across the island, we might be having night courts because all those traffic violators who feel they can get away, a warning must be sent to them. Your days of driving recklessly and the indiscipline on the road must stop. May I emphasize that all violators, all these traffic tickets, SSP Allen, the great work that you and your officers have been doing to try to curb the indiscipline must be supported by the justice system, where those traffic violators who feel they can get away, that they must now know that they will not get away. The full brunt of the law will be borne on them. And I've spoken to Major General Rocky Mead that because the jails have limited space, I need some space at Up Park Camp, red fence. So kindly take steps now, Major General Rocky Mead, to put in place some detention centers for those traffic violators who feel they can get away. And if you're in Hanover, Westmoreland, or St. Mary or Portland, and there's no space for you in the jail cells over there, you will be brought to Up Park Camp until you can be dealt with in the traffic courts.
Mr. Chuck pointed out that there are 100,000 outstanding warrants for traffic violators. He has asked for additional judges and more night courts to deal with these cases and has suggested that penalties will be harsh after conviction. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the next step in the Jamaica Moves campaign is to take legislation to Parliament to regulate the sugar content in food products. Holness, who was addressing a crowd in the town of Maypen, Clarendon last week, however, said before this step is made, Jamaicans would have to be educated about the ill effects of some of the foods they consume daily. The Prime Minister was attending the final in the series of Jamaica Moves road tours hosted by the Ministry of Health. The Prime Minister says he has embarked on a healthier lifestyle by eliminating sugar and artificial sweeteners from his diet and is encouraging all Jamaicans to either cut down or cut out sugar. He said he had also reduced his fat intake. Veteran journalist and Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service, JIS, Ian Boyne, was yesterday rushed to hospital following multiple heart attacks and is in a medically induced coma. The highly respected and internationally acclaimed journalist, who is in his 60s, has been a media practitioner for 30 years. He is most known for his personality television series Profile, the longest-running seasonal show on local television. It features successful and remarkable personalities, many of whom overcame significant hardships. Profile celebrated 30 years this March, earning Boyne more accolades, including congratulations from the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. The Jamaica Defense Forces Disaster Assistance Response Team, which deployed to Dominica in September following the devastation left by Hurricane Maria, is expected to return to Jamaica today. The JDF made the announcement on the weekend. In addition to its physical efforts, the team set up the Dominica Disaster Relief Fund, designed to generate donations from the Jamaican individuals and companies. According to Lieutenant Colonel Dion Smalling of the JDF, the drive is intended to encourage and facilitate members of the public who wish to make donations to assist the people of Dominica. As such, all donations will be handed over to the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica to assist with relief efforts following the passing of Hurricane Maria on September 19. The account is at Sagicor Bank with account number 5502935258. That's 5502935258. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has expressed condolences to the family and friends of Jamaican businessman Lowell Hawthorne, who reportedly killed himself in the United States last evening. According to media reports in the state of New York, Hawthorne, who was the chief executive officer of his family-owned Golden Crust Caribbean Bakery and Grill, shot himself in the head inside the company's Bronx offices. News of his death sent shockwaves throughout the Jamaican diaspora community. Hawthorne migrated to the United States in 1981 and used the life savings of relatives to start the Golden Crust Bakery in the Bronx. The bakery has grown to more than 120 stores in 20 states across the United States. In regional news, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has announced the creation of a virtual currency in a bid to ease the country's economic crisis. He said the petro would be backed by Venezuela's oil, gas, and gold and diamond wealth. According to the BBC, opposition MPs, however, poured scorn on the plan. Venezuela's economy has been hit by failing oil revenue and the plummeting value of its existing currency, the bolivar. President Maduro has also railed against U.S. sanctions, which he describes as, quote, a blockade, end quote. In a televised announcement on a Sunday, Mr. Maduro said the new cryptocurrency would allow Venezuela, quote, to advance in issues of monetary sovereignty, to make financial transactions and overcome the financial blockade, end quote. In other news, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, says it's prepared to help the Caribbean recover from the spate of hurricanes that have ravaged the region this year. So says Communications Director Jerry Rice. He says the fund is now reviewing its low-income facilities as a means of helping hurricane-hit states get back on their feet.
Currently reclassify countries to make them eligible for concessional fund borrowing. A review of the fund's low-income facilities is currently underway, and that will examine how well these facilities are addressing the needs of vulnerable small states, and will propose changes if needed.
In the meantime, the IMF is also calling on a narrowing of the wage gap between men and women in the region. IMF boss Christine Lagarde says women can foster greater economic growth if the gender inequity gap is lessened.
Women have access to finance. They are very entrepreneurial, and they can actually use their potential, use their intelligence, and for some their education in order to start businesses, in order to develop activity. But generally, finance is the missing component. So facilitating access to finance and making sure that finance is inclusive for them would be, in my view, a very, very strong step forward.
In sports, triple Olympic champion Usain Bolt came out to celebrate with his colleagues yesterday at the unveiling of a sculpture in his likeness with his famous "To the World" pose. Sports Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and renowned Jamaican sculptor Basil Watson, who created the piece, were in attendance.
I've been asked many times, what is it that you admire most about Usain Bolt? And I think that the word that comes to mind is integrity. He has shown, and you know, Minister Grange, you have said that he's human. I agree with you, he's human, but he's superhuman. He has shown the best of mankind that we can achieve by hard work, dedication, commitment, and we don't need to use anything to enhance our God-given talent. And so I admire that about you, Usain, because that is an example to all our young people who want to succeed and do great things, that you do it by integrity.
Bolt, in his acceptance speech, admitted to being at a loss for words after listening to tributes from President of the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, Warren Blake, President of the International Association of Athletics Federation, Sebastian Coe, and more.
There's no words to really describe how I'm feeling right now. One thing me and my best friend Angel we always talk about, and just imagine, like, how is this even possible? You know what I mean? Barefoot youth from country, run up and down, drop, buck toe, all them something here. I've never ever, at no point, feel I would be in this moment, as big as it is now, have my own statue at the National Stadium where it all began. It's just, there's no words, and this is why I always encourage everybody, and this is why my motto say anything is possible. No limits, because at no point in time I never thought I would ever achieve this much, but I've always pushed on and stay focused and work for what I want. And for me, I'd like to thank NJ, all the fans, the people, my coach. My coach has really been one of the biggest thing in my life, which really helped me to motivate me. When I actually started with him, I wouldn't say lazy and don't want to train, but I wasn't focused, and he got me focused and got me on the right path to really work hard and to push on and to win all these gold medals and all these records. So, Coach Mills, thank you very much. Oh, sorry. I don't remember Coach Mills. The doctor, I'm sorry, sir.
In cricket, the defiance of the West Indies had found on day 3 wilted. Their wickets fell in a heap after the second time in the test, and New Zealand sped to an innings of a 67-run victory. The host Quicks have wiped out the opposition out of the second new ball. Following the top-order partnerships West Indies had mounted on Sunday, it was the rate of their demise on Monday that was dispiriting. They added 105 to the overnight score and lost their last 7 wickets for 62 runs in the space of 20 overs. This result means the New Zealand go to the second test without having been stretched at Wellington. In the post-match interview, West Indies' Stuart Law said the collapse was just one of those things.
We've been crying out for wickets that provide a bit of entertainment, a bit of a challenge for both bat and ball. And, today I think our batting, just speaking to the batsmen, they're all bitterly disappointed with their effort. And look, I know that we're a lot better than what we performed like out there today. So, look, it's one of those things. We tend to have a habit of not starting a series very well, but by no means are we dead and buried in this contest. It's only day 1 out of 5, and the weather looks to be like it's set fair for another 4 days. So anything's possible in the second innings for our batters.
And that's it for the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.
Big up on the massive and animal farm. Big